Bandeham Shri Guru Shiyatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Om Agyana Timarandasha Gyananshana Shilakaya Chakshurum Tamyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurukana Rasisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Abhidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Prem Navi Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchandabaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadikavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Maneka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanchakopatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishay Namah. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the hidden treasure of the sweet absolute, with translation and commentary by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. This is chapter 8, Taraka-brahma Yoga, the Merciful Absolute. Arjuna Uvacha Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adibhutam Cha Kim Proktam Adidaivam Kim Uchate Adiyagya Katam Kotra Dehesmin Madhusudana Prayana Kale Cha Katam Geyosi Niyatatma Mabi. Arjuna inquired, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman and what is the soul? What is action and what is the worldly plane? What is the celestial plane? O Madhusudana, within the body, who is the agent of sacrifice and how is he present? And how are you to be known by the self-controlled at the time of death? So Arjuna inquired, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman and what is the soul? What is action and what is the worldly plane? What is the celestial plane? O Madhusudana, within the body, who is the agent of sacrifice and how is he present? And how are you to be known by the self-controlled at the time of death? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Paramam Brahma Svabhavo Jatman Uchate Bhuta Bhavod Karo Visarga Karma Samgita. The Supreme Lord spoke thus. It is said that Brahman is the imperishable absolute, and the soul is the living being's own pure spiritual nature. By action is meant the creative force or offerings by charity, sacrifice, and austerity to a demigod, manifesting through the gross and subtle elements the bodies of the human and other species of life. Supreme Lord spoke thus. It is said that Brahman is the imperishable absolute, and the soul is the living being's own pure spiritual nature. By action is meant the creative force or offerings by charity, sacrifice, and austerity, etc., to a demigod, manifesting through the gross and subtle elements, the bodies of the human and other species of life. So here in answer to Arjuna's question, what is Brahman? Then Krishna replies that Brahman is the imperishable absolute. So we speak of Brahman and Para-brahman. The Para-brahman is the Supreme Lord, and Brahman is we will see as the living entity. So we see Atma and Paramatma. We'll see the living being, and we'll see the Supreme Lord. So they are both within the heart of the living entity. The living entity is Jiva, and the difference being is that the Lord is infinite and the Jiva is finite. But the Jiva does have the qualities of the Supreme Lord. Satchidananda Vigraha. Satchid, which the eternal consciousness, which is due to the presence of spirit. Wherever we see spirit or wherever we see soul, we will know there is consciousness there. So this is what distinguishes, we can say, at least superficially. We can say this distinguishes matter from spirit. That spirit is always noted by having consciousness, the presence of consciousness. When we see consciousness in any living being, whether it's plant, animal, human, even microbial organisms, we know that there is consciousness there. There is also Jivas, the spirit, and there's also the Supreme Lord present. There's Atma and Paramatma. So the Supreme Lord said thus, it is said that Brahman is the imperishable absolute, and the soul is the living being's own pure spiritual nature. By action is meant the creative force or offerings by charity, sacrifice, and austerity to a demigod, manifesting through the gross and subtle elements the bodies of the human and other species of life. So this can be seen as action, but it is also said Yagyavai Vishnu, that ultimately all sacrifice, all actions are meant for the satisfaction of the Supreme. So the living entity has free will. He can act, but we see to actually exist on the spiritual plane, one has to be engaged in devotional service. There will be actually the activities which are natural to the spirit soul or to the jiva soul. Ultimately, that will be one's real shelter to be able to act for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Then, Adibhutam Sharo Baba Purushas Charidaivatam Adiyagyo Ham Evatra Dehe Deha Britam Vara. O Arjuna, best of beings, the worldly plane means that which is perishable, such as the body. The celestial plane is the collective universal form which encompasses and governs the demigods. And I am the Lord of sacrifice, present as the supersoul within the bodies of all living beings, as the sanctioner and rewarder of their actions of sacrifice, etc. O Arjuna, best of beings, the worldly plane means that which is perishable, such as the body. So yesterday we talked about duality. So here is the ultimate, we can say, source of duality for the living entities, that the living entities are eternal living beings, but they are living within this material plane, within this body. They are inhabiting this body. But the problem becomes that although they are inhabiting this body, and they will go from one body to another because that is natural. The body is temporary, the living entity is eternal. So when the body is no longer usable, just like when one's shirt or clothes are dirty, they are discarded and the living entity accepts another body. So what I speak of as a source of problems is that the living entity is identifying himself or herself with this body. And that is actually illusion. Sometimes the impersonalists will say that this world is an illusion, that everything ultimately, that Brahman is immutable, imperishable. So if we see duality, if we see variety, then we can know that that is illusion. That's what the impersonalists say, because they say Brahman is immutable. But that is actually not the reality. The world is not illusory. The world, everything within this world is temporary, such as this table or any object here. It is temporary. It won't exist forever. But the living entity has taken this temporary existence, this body, and identified with that, with the body as oneself, and it is not oneself. So the worldly plane means that which is perishable, such as the body. The celestial plane is the collective universal form which encompasses and governs the demigods. So we talk about the higher realms, where also within the material plane, but they are those who have acquired through their activities some higher karma or some better karma. They can go to that plane. But for a devotee, it is said that whether one is in heaven or hell, it is the same in the sense that we're not interested in that celestial plane being devoid of devotional service. Our focus is on devotional service. So in the words of description of Chitraketu, was said, he's a great devotee and he was cursed by Parvati to come to this world as Vritasura. And Lord Shiva described, for such a devotee, he is a Narayana Parayana. He's an eternal associate of the Lord. For such a person, heaven and hell, they're the same. He's cursed to come to this earth and have a hellish existence, but he is always in divine consciousness. The celestial plane is a collective universal form which encompasses and governs the demigods. And I am the Lord of sacrifice, present in as the supersoul within the bodies of all living beings, as the sanctioner and rewarder of their actions of sacrifices, etc. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam Jajati ante kalevaram tam tamevaite konteya sada tadbhava bhavita yam yam vapi smaram bhavam jajati kalevaram tam tamevaite konteya sada tadbhava bhavita. O son of Kunti, one who has always thought of a particular object will remember it and attain to it after leaving the body. Son of Kunti, one who has always thought of a particular object will remember it and attain to it after leaving the body. And we can understand this happens as such because we are seeing this gross body, which is consisting of the 5 gross material elements, which is Brahma, which is ether, sky, fire, water, earth. These are the constituents, we can say. Vumarapo nilo vayu. So those are the gross material elements, we can say, that form up the body, different, expressed in different ways, but still gross. And we can say that more subtle is the mind intelligence and the false ego. So there is a subtle body, and we are not always seeing that. So at the time of death, the consciousness which one has acquired by one's actions during this life will form a consciousness, and that consciousness by the subtle body will take one to one's next birth. We see, for instance, Maharaj Bharata India is named after Maharaj Bharata. And he renounced everything, his wife and family. He was a king, but he gave up the kingdom. He didn't want to be attached, and he went to the forest to practice to live as a spiritual person. But in so doing, he saved one small deer who was born when the deer's mother was running from a tiger, and that small deer fell into a stream or water, and Maharaj Bharata saved the deer and then was taking care of the deer, and then some attachment for that deer. He became very protective towards the deer, and at the time of death he was looking for that deer, and he apparently fell to his death while thinking of that deer, and he attained the body of a deer in his next birth. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam jajat yanti kalevaram tad tadevaite konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So that was his consciousness, and that took him to his next birth. So it is not just enough to act mechanically. We have to actually serve the Lord with everything, with our mind, with our intelligence, with our actions, with our words, with our desire, with everything. We have to serve the Lord in that way. Otherwise, we run the risk of always being diverted in our consciousness and not really on the plane of reality of service to the Lord. We have seen this. That's why meditation is not always very advantageous in this age, because we see many times people are trying to meditate and they believe it's just some activity to clear their mind. But often we see that persons who are meditating, they can't control their mind, and their mind will wander from one thing to another. So our focus of actions is Seva, is service to the Lord. And by that we are trying to always think of the Lord as the Lord says, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te brahma mame vaishyasi satyam te don't remember the last line. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam jajat yandekam. No, it is. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. If you Krishna's, as Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, Krishna is very, you can say, he's audaciously asking us to engage our mind in thinking of him, manmana bhava mad bhakto, and offering obeisance to him, to serving him. He's very audaciously pleading this, but it's not because he's trying to force us to do anything, but we don't see anywhere else that the Lord is so directly instructing the living entity. You think of me, you serve me, you worship me. It would appear to be very like commanding, but at the same time, it is not just that. It is for our benefit, and the Lord is instructing out of sincere love and deep feelings for the living entities, and he's doing this for our benefit. So he doesn't need anything. He doesn't need this service, but he wants a relationship with his devotees. He has a natural bond of love for his devotees, and that's why he's instructing like that. But we don't see in other religious scriptures that the Lord is telling, at least not in this loving way. Rather, sometimes we see in some different places he's telling, you do this or you do that, or I will send a fiery thunderbolt or some punishment will come to you. But this is not being done in that mood. This is being said differently. So, O son of Kunti, one who has always thought of a particular object will remember it and attain to it after leaving the body. So, one who thinks, did we do number 5?
Yes.
Antakale cha mam eva smaram mukva kalevaram ya prayati sadmad bhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. I don't know that we did that. We did. Antakale cha mam eva smaram mukva kalevaram ya prayati sadmad bhavam yati nasti yatra samshaya. One who thinks of me at the time of death attains to my nature. On departing the world, of this there is no doubt. One who thinks of me at the time of death attains to my nature. On departing this world, of this there is no doubt. So, as I said, this is a matter of how our consciousness will be, how we will utilize our consciousness correctly. If we're thinking of the Lord, then upon leaving this body, we'll go to the Lord. And sometimes people think service to any demigod is the same. But Srila Govinda Maharaj said that when he was with Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, that he stated that, and he said Prabhupada answered him in a humorous way. He said, Krishna's living in Goloka Vrindavan. He's surrounded by Kamadhenu, beautiful desire cows. He's surrounded also by desire trees, kalpavriksha. Everyone there is of a nature of divine. All movement is dance. All conversation is singing. In that way, it's very beautiful. And what is offered to Krishna, nice milk products and so many things cooked so wonderfully. And he said, but giving, for instance, the predominant deity in Bengal, Srila Prabhupada said to Govinda Maharaj, and where is Mother Kali living? Yeah, her servitors are, although she is no doubt elevated servitor of Lord Shiva, she is Lord Shiva's wife, but her servitors are bhutas, are ghosts, and they're living in crematoriums. So Srila Govinda Maharaj said, Srila Prabhupada said to Govinda Maharaj, so where do you want to live? Do you want to live like this, in Goloka Vrindavan with the Lord and everything is very nice, or in a place full of ghosts and crematoriums and like this? So anyway, one who thinks of me at the time of death attains to my nature. On departing this world, of this there is no doubt. We read, out of order, we read, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajit yanti kalevaram tam tam evaite konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. O son of Kunti, one who has always thought of a particular object will remember it and attain to it after leaving the body. So we gave examples of that, Maharaj Bharata, and how our activities and how our consciousness is taking us to our next body. I heard this humorously once compared to, perhaps we don't see this so much, but there are people who are chain smoking. And they are smoking one cigarette down till it's a very small butt, and then they're taking that and using that end of the cigarette to light another cigarette. So that's called chain smoking. So one could say we're also chain smoking these material bodies. We are utilizing the body and acquiring some kind of consciousness, and then that consciousness is taking us to another body. And like that, the continuation of material bodies formed actions or help determine consciousness, and the consciousness is taking us to another body at the time of death. We spoke of the gross body and the subtle body, and the subtle body is active. But people don't know so much about this, but that you can glimpse. There are stories of spirits and ghosts and like this, of beings who exist on the subtle plane. So not everything is according to what we see with our eyes. There are so many things we don't see with our eyes, but that doesn't diminish their existence. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarayudacha mayarpita mano buddhir mam evais yasi asamshaya tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarayudacha mayarpitam mano buddhir mam evais yasi asamshaya. Therefore, always remembering me, fight as it is your natural duty. Thus, dedicating your mind and intelligence to me, you will reach me. Of this there is no doubt. Therefore, always remembering me, fight as it is your natural duty. Thus, dedicating your mind and intelligence to me, you will reach me. Of this there is no doubt. So Bhagavad Gita is not presenting just training people for warfare. This is a particular position of Arjuna, that he's what's called a Kshatriya. And the Lord is speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield. So in that sense, we should not extrapolate or expand from there and think that the Lord is only telling people to engage in battle. No. The Bhagavad Gita is giving instructions. Arjuna is presenting those instructions. And Arjuna is already a devotee of the Lord, but the Lord is instructing Arjuna, and we are benefiting by that conversation. But there is a central lesson of the Bhagavad Gita, and that is that everyone is thinking when they come into this world that they will change the world. Maybe there is that some persons work monumental changes in this world or whatever they do. But still the basic lesson of Bhagavad Gita is that you are not so much an instrument. You are a small being, and you are not so much that it is not so much that you are changing this world. Although, as I said, there are those who can make major contributions. Everyone can contribute something. But the principal point of Bhagavad Gita is that the environment is coming to change you. Everyone will be benefited by the consciousness given in the Bhagavad Gita, because we can learn so much of how, whatever position, Arjuna, all right, he's a warrior, but we are not all warriors. Most of us are not warriors. I've never imagined myself even to be a warrior. So some persons may be suited. Arjuna is what's called a Kshatriya, and that can be the persons like him who are natural fighters, or it can also be someone who's in the ruling class, or meaning like a government person who is acting to legislate some change, whatever. But the point is that we are not of that nature. We may be of another nature. Somebody may be intellectual by nature. Somebody may be a natural farmer by nature, or somebody may be an orator, somebody, whatever it is. Somebody may just be, a worker who's happy with his profession. But the Bhagavad Gita is meant for everyone in every position of life, because it's how you can better yourself and how the environment will come to change you. And the environment is ultimately friendly. Most people have dread of the environment. They are thinking that the environment is something formidable and that the environment is devouring them or grinding them into dust. But it is not so. The environment, the point is that the environment has a divine connection. You know, as we've heard, Daivi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratiya Mam Eva Ye Prapadyante Mayame Tam Tarantite. That this nature is Daivi, it's divine. There's a divine connection. It is an energy of the Lord. Material nature is an energy of the Lord. There is a spiritual energy of the Lord. There's the living entities who are the marginal energy of the Lord. But in any case, this energy of the Lord, it has that divine connection. So we are to enable our consciousness to be able to perceive that divine connection. And if we will surrender to the Lord, then we'll see that our experience will become very positive, that actually we'll have the mentality to see the divine connection of the environment with the Lord, and we'll understand how everything is favorable and that environment is coming to change us. So that is a basic lesson in Bhagavad Gita. So let's see now. Text number 8. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chedasa nanyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati partanu chintayan. O Partha, the yogi who practices meditation with an undeviating mind, always thinking of the effulgent Supreme Person, reaches him. O Partha, the yogi who practices meditation with an undeviating mind, always thinking of the effulgent Supreme Person, reaches him. So meditation is not something impersonal or nebulous. Meditation is enabling one's mind, one's consciousness to always be focused on one's relationship with the Supreme Lord. Now, we can say that this activity of meditating also may be something related with Shantaras, which is the relationship of without active service. The yogi may be thinking of the Lord within his mind. But ultimately, the prospect of understanding will be to be able to understand the Lord. And our mission is that of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram. We are saying, all right, we have a relationship with the Lord, and you can think of the Lord. But also we know our identity is that we are eternal servants of the Lord. The constitutional position of us as Jiva souls, Jiva Atma, as that we are Jiva Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. We are eternal servants of the Lord. So thinking of the Lord, understanding our relationship with the Lord will ultimately lead us to a service connection with the Lord. Because ultimately yoga is meant, the word yoga means to establish a connection with the Lord. So having that connection will ultimately want to engage in service. That will be the perfection of our relationship with the Lord. So I'll read these next two verses here. Kavim Puranam Anushashtitaram Anur Aniyam Sam Anusmaredya Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat Prayana Kale Manasachalena Bhaktya Yukto Yoga Balena Chaiva Bruvor Madhye Pranam Avesha Samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam kavim puranam anushashitaram anur aniyam sam anusmaredya sarvasya dhataram achintya rupam aditya varnam tamasa purastat prayanakale manasad shalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bruvor madhye pranam avesha samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. He, the Supreme Person, is the all-knowing, beginningless, merciful teacher of devotion unto himself. Although more subtle than the atom, he is the infinite support of all existence. His form is supramundane, that is, of a human-like feature, yet he is self-illuminating and all-illuminating like the sun. He is transcendental to illusion, one whose mind is fully focused by strength of yoga practice, who continuously remembers him with devotion, and who at the time of death establishes the life force between the eyebrows at the Agya Chakra with full concentration, thinking of him, reaches the effulgent Supreme Person. He, the Supreme Person, is the all-knowing, beginningless, merciful teacher of devotion unto himself. He's teaching us devotion unto himself. Although more subtle than the atom, he is the infinite support of all existence. His form is supramundane, that is, of a human-like feature, yet he is self-illuminating and he is self-illuminating and all-illuminating like the sun. He is transcendental to illusion, one whose mind is fully focused by strength of yoga practice, who continuously remembers him with devotion, who at the time of death establishes the life force between the eyebrows at the Agya Chakra. With full concentration, thinking of him, reaches the effulgent Supreme Person. So this we can see ultimately what is the goal of yoga and the yoga practitioner. But there is higher forms of yoga than this mechanical or self-elevating process of yoga. I don't know if I'm properly stating that, but I'm saying that Bhakti Yoga gives one a chance to achieve this by activity, and not just because this process of concentrating one's attention, elevating oneself to different chakras till one attains to this chakra and leaves. And then we'll see there's so many conditions for leaving from this body. Those conditions are not applicable for one who is an active practitioner of Bhakti Yoga, who is serving the Lord. So elsewhere we'll see that Krishna personally, he's the establisher of everything, and he is, as it said, he's illuminating, self-illuminating, he's illuminating everything. We see this whole body is illuminated by consciousness. If someone says, where is the Atma, where is the Paramatma? Like the story of the man who's living all his life in darkness, and somebody says to him, do you wish to see the sun? Then that person says, yes, just 1 minute, I'm going to get my lantern, or I'm going to get my flashlight so I can see the sun. And his friend says, no, it's not like that. The sun is self-illuminating. You don't have to have a flashlight or a lantern to look for the sun. The sun illuminates everything. So in this way, Atma and Paramatma, they're illuminating. Krishna is illuminating everything. Our body is illuminated by consciousness. If someone says, how can you find the Atma? The Atma is showing himself by consciousness. There's consciousness illuminating your whole body. But ultimately, we will see that our intention will be on Bhakti Yoga, which is the most complete form of yoga, because if you can understand that by meditation you come to see or have vision of the Supreme Lord, then you're seeing yourself and the Lord are there. Then why knowing that, you will naturally want to serve the Lord. So the impersonalists think that all activity in this world is material. But we're saying, no, that is the wrong consciousness. They're only seeing ultimately, they're seeing karma and gyan, they're seeing exploitation and renunciation of the material plane. But they don't have actual information of the spiritual plane. But one who has association with the devotees, comes in contact with the devotees, hears from the devotees, engages in service of the Lord, that person can enter into his eternal relationship, service relationship with the Lord. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue as we're reading this chapter. Taraka-brahma yoga, the merciful absolute. Krishna is so merciful, and Gurudev is so merciful that they give us this entrance into divinity through the plane of devotional service. All right. Jai. Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhariju Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghuna. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghuna. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jao Ete Vignana Shabisa Puran. H.I. Gosai Jarmui Taradas. Tasamar Bada Renu Mora Panchagras. Kader Chanrana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilamas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradamaras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shuki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuka Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Prem Se Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani, Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kana Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.